Upbeat, whimsical music begins and then fades into the background. Hello, and welcome. Have you ever looked up at the big, bright moon and wondered what it would be like to visit? Well, deep in a cozy green forest, lived a little bear named Barnaby who did more than just wonder. He decided he was going to be the first bear on the moon. Barnaby wasn't the biggest or the strongest bear in the forest, but he had the biggest dreams. Every night he'd stare at the moon, that silvery circle hanging in the sky like a giant cookie. "I'm going to get there one day," he'd whisper to the fireflies. The other animals would often chuckle. "Bears can't fly, Barnaby," chirped a cheeky robin. "The moon is much too far," hooted a wise old owl. But Barnaby just smiled. Their doubts only made his determination stronger. His first idea was to climb. He found the tallest tree in the entire forest, a giant redwood that seemed to tickle the clouds. He took a deep breath and started to climb paw over paw. He climbed higher and higher, past the robin's nest, past the owl's branch, until the whole forest looked like a tiny green blanket below. He was so high, he felt he could almost touch the clouds. But the moon still looked just as far away as ever. A little tired, but not discouraged, Barnaby carefully climbed back down. Climbing wasn't the answer. Next, Barnaby thought, if I can't climb, maybe I can bounce. He remembered seeing the frogs by the pond bouncing on lily pads. So he went to the springiest, bounciest mushroom patch he could find. He took a running start and leaped onto a big red mushroom with white spots. Beowing! He flew into the air, higher than he'd ever jumped before. For a second he felt like he was flying. But gravity is a funny thing, and he came right back down with a soft thump. He bounced and bounced for hours, but the moon remained stubbornly out of reach. Bouncing wasn't the answer either. Feeling a little stumped, Barnaby sat by the river, watching the leaves float downstream. He saw a big, beautiful dandelion fluff float past on the breeze, dancing in the air. That's when it hit him. He needed something to help him float. He spent the next few days gathering every single dandelion he could find, hundreds and hundreds of them. With the help of his friend, a clever squirrel named Squeaky, they tied all the dandelion stems together to make a giant, fluffy parachute. This was his most brilliant plan yet. He climbed back up the tall redwood tree, holding his dandelion parachute tightly. He looked up at the moon, which was big and full that night. "Here I come!" he shouted. He took a deep breath, and with a brave leap of faith, he jumped. Whoosh! The dandelion parachute opened up, catching the wind perfectly. He wasn't falling, he was floating. The forest animals below gasped in amazement. Barnaby the bear was flying. He floated gently on the wind, drifting higher and higher. He soared over the forest, over the river, and towards the sparkling, starry sky. The world below grew smaller and smaller. It was the most incredible feeling. He was closer to the moon than he had ever been. The moon seemed to smile down at him, its gentle light guiding him. He felt so peaceful, drifting among the stars. He didn't quite make it all the way to the moon that night, but as he floated gently back down to a soft meadow, he wasn't sad at all. You see, Barnaby realized something important. The journey was just as amazing as the destination. He had climbed the tallest tree, bounced on the springiest mushrooms, and even flew with a dandelion parachute. He had done things no bear had ever done before. Back in the forest, he was no longer just Barnaby. He was Barnaby the brave, the bear who dared to reach for the moon. He told all the young animals his stories, not just about trying to reach the moon, but about being brave enough to try something new, even if it seems impossible. And from that day on, whenever a little animal in the forest had a big, seemingly impossible dream, they would remember Barnaby. They learned that even if you don't reach your moon right away, the adventure of trying, the courage to take that first step, and the friends you make along the way are the real treasures. Barnaby still looks up at the moon every night, but now he winks at it, knowing that sometimes the greatest adventures happen right here on the way to your dreams. So what's your moon? What incredible adventure are you dreaming of? Remember Barnaby and be brave enough to take that first step. Thank you so much for joining us on this little adventure today. If you enjoyed Barnaby's story, Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the forest. We'd love to have you back. See you next time.